We gladly welcome this manifestation of the power of reason over passion that prevailed in the civil disturbance management operation conducted by the PNP during the lightning rally staged by a handful of protesters in the 7 locations in Manila, Quezon City, Makati, and Parañaque yesterday. We are confident that leaders of other militant organizations will express similar gesture of cooperation in ongoing mass action in Bendia Avenue near Rojas Boulevard, Iwasang Bonifacio, Plaza Lacson, and Baclaran Church. Let me reiterate our unequivocal position that any public assembly outside of the designated freedom parks is deemed illegal and will be addressed accordingly. The PNP fully respects the right of citizens peaceably to assemble and express their sentiments as guaranteed under our democratic system. Next statement. Forensic investigators are conducting further tests to identify the severed head and headless body found in separate locations in Sulu on Tuesday and Wednesday. At 8:30 p.m. on Tuesday, police security forces in the capital town of Bulo recovered an abandoned package along Marina Street, Barangay Walled City, with markings Bernard Jen Ted Fen, containing an unidentified severed human head. At around 4:30 p.m. of Wednesday, 18 November, a headless cadaver was recovered in Barangay Cagay, Indanan, Sulu. Both human remains are now being examined by the Crime Laboratory of Police Regional Office, Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao for identification. Pending official scientific findings at this point, we cannot conclusively establish the identity of these human remains to preclude undue speculation and inaccuracy in reporting. Thank you. Questions?
I believe there are protesters outside. How many are they, and how were they able to go very near the venue?
We have already deployed our civil disturbance management personnel in the area, and as of now, the Chief PNP himself is monitoring the situation in that particular area in along Bendia near Rojas Boulevard. There are already sufficient forces there, but again, as we can always emphasize, the Philippine National Police will adhere to the principle of maximum tolerance, but also state that the presence of these rallies in that particular area is already illegal, considering that there was no permit that was issued for them.
What is the estimate of the number?
The situation is still liquid, and we will furnish reports maybe after the incident or after the situation. The situation there is still ongoing, and statistics or data may be provided later.
But is it true that there were at least 10 protesters arrested, and that there were at least 2 policemen who were injured?
As of this moment, we have not received any information of any protesters that were arrested. But as to the police officers, I have seen through media outlet that one of them were injured. Nevertheless, we have a complete package of health and doctors, nurses, medical personnel that will attend to our police personnel. Of course, not only to the police personnel, but also to the rallies or the people who will be injured in this kind of situation. Again, we appeal to the protesters to cease and desist in this kind of violent actions.
Sir, sorry.
True that there was a deadline given. There was a deadline given to the protesters, 15-minute or 30-minute deadline.
The instruction of the Chief PNP is that as much as possible, we will adhere to the maximum tolerance. We will let them express their sentiments, opinions, if that is the way they will present their expressions.
Up to what time?
There is no such limit that was given. But as much as possible, they cannot cross that particular area that was limited for them. That is the standing instruction.
Sir, are you expecting more protesters to come? Ano po yung monitoring nyo?
We always prepared for the worst. In this kind of situation, as Abby said before, all contingencies have been taken up, undertaken, evaluated. Again, through our reports from the field, whether there will be additional or none, our security forces will be there to address the situation.
Sir, some are saying na overkill naman because there were lots of policemen over the area aside from the military, I think.
Our preparation was intended to ensure the safety and security of the economic leaders who are here. And preparations in this kind is really in a big magnitude, as you can imagine. Even in other countries, they do that. But nevertheless, when you say overkill, I think it's better to be over-prepared, as the President said, over-prepared than be caught flat-footed, being under-prepared.
Sir, regarding these two bodies that were recovered in Mindanao, how soon could the result of this, how do you call this, test or forensics test would come out?
I think I'll just wait for the findings of the crime laboratory. It'll give them time, give them chance to do their job.
So you said the protester must be in limited area. What are those limited areas you're talking about?
If we will strictly speak, they're not allowed within the cities that permits were not issued. In fact, they were given leniency on this. They're not allowed in the vicinity of the APEC event. Makati did not issue any permit, Mandaluyong, Pasay, Manila. So therefore, their presence here is illegal. But despite of that, the Philippine National Police recognizes the free expression of every individual. That's the reason why, until now, we're giving them the chance to do that. But again, we appeal to them that by expressing their sentiments, let us not be violent. You can do things in some other way, as long as you're not violent.
Sir, can you confirm that water cannons were used to disperse the protesters?
Excuse me, ma'am?
Were water cannons used?
Yes, water, because this is a less lethal approach on the part of security measures. As you can see, it's not really, it's something like a minimal pressure that we have, that the firefighter have done. I think it's just like, let these people cool. Palamig po muna tayo konti.
And what other measures were used?
So far, that's the only measures. I mean, we have the same protocols, shields to see to it that they will not cross the line. And our policemen, security forces are there to ensure that the limits or the boundaries where they should be there or stand should be restricted on their part. But again, let me emphasize, their presence there is illegal per se, because no permits were issued.
Did you use batons on the protesters?
Force is will only be used when necessary. We will use reasonable force if necessary. But again, the primary concern, the primary instruction is that we will adhere to the maximum restraint or maximum tolerance, the highest degree of restraint of our personnel, especially in this kind of confrontation. No, maximum tolerance pertains to the policemen, pertains to the attitude or the behavior of the policemen in this kind of situation. That means a policeman should have that particular highest degree of patience so as not to be provocated by these protesters.
Sir, sabi nyo illegal. Ibig sabihin, may possibility na makasuhan itong mga nagrally?
If it is needed, then we can. But again, the policy is just recognize their pre-expression. Let them air their sentiments now.
Good morning. Would you
Yes,
be able
Milo.
to identify the groups behind the rallies this morning?
As of now,
Yes. Yes.
as of now, Melo, as I've mentioned before, the situation is liquid. Maybe after uh, the situation, we can give the specific groups or numbers of the protesters.
Sir, since
It's been a custom with the Philippine National Police to engage the groups in dialogue even before events like this. Were you able to exert the same efforts as you did during the preparations for SONA?
Yes, we initiated some what we call reaching out with these leaders, but again, in some groups we had, of course, part of our effort to talk to them. But again, you know the situation. It's part of the effort of the Philippine National to, as much as possible, talk. It's better to talk rather than to be in this kind of situation wherein confrontations already been made.
Sir, since our policemen used fire cannons, and you said they would exercise maximum tolerance unless they're provoked. So, what were the instances during today's protest that prompted or provoked the policemen and our firefighters to use water cannons and even batons to disperse the rallyists?
You mean, what is the reason why there was water?
Yeah.
Yung
I
can-
mean, what prompted the use of the water cannons? Because you said they will exercise maximum tolerance unless provoked by these protesters.
Water is less lethal than any other confrontation. Uh, the assumption or the assessment that both parties, both groups might cool down because of that water, not really pressurized to hit or to cause injury to the particular person, but basically the intention is that to cool down the emotions that everybody or the other side is experiencing right now.
Sir, just a follow-up to Melo's question. What was the result of the dialogue between the police and the protesters prior to the APEC leaders meeting? Was there a consensus or an agreement as to the limits or the boundaries that they should observe and where they should just limit themselves?
There was a group that negotiations or reaching out was made. But again, despite of that negotiation also, or reaching out or talking with them, they still opted to protest as of now.
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, was the police surprised by the presence of the protesters at that Ross Boulevard in Bindia? Because they were so close to the venue now.
No.
So-
We have deployed sufficient personnel in this particular area. We already identified the roads where they possibly will pass through. The strategic positions of the police now has been considered already. And that position, we anticipate that they cannot really go in or near the APEC event.
So up to that place only.
Yes.
You have anticipated that they can go to that place, but no more closer to the venue.
Yes.
Those, di ba? Paano sila nakapasok doon? I mean, how were they able to sneak in from Liwasang Bonifacio, for instance?
Some of them sometimes go on what we call in the military term leapfrogging. You go from one place to another, one group trying to regroup, and that's how we did it. Alam niyo sa atin, groups of 2 or 3 or 4, you cannot just apprehend them. So through this means, they can regroup again. But again, what we can assure is that sufficient personnel are there already, both on the front and on the back of that particular area. What we can assure the public, and of course this place, that protesters cannot affect us here.
Sir,
Yes, ma'am.
I do understand that you're still checking the people who's behind of this rally, but it doesn't change the fact that what they did is illegal, right? So after the report, would it be possible that there are some people will be charged?
Yes. with this kind of situation wherein some of our policemen are injured, despite of our adherence to the maximum tolerance policy, and they still aggressively or provoke our people and then cause injuries or harm to our people, definitely, I think it is just but right to file legal charges against them.
Is there a standoff between the protesters and the policemen?
Manny, hindi ko masabi ngayon kasi andito tayo, but again, it's live in TV. Again, we are monitoring that. We have in the multi-agency coordinating center that we can view everything there, what is happening. So the Chief PNP himself is monitoring the situation. All the commanders concerned are tasked to provide guidance, command and control are already in the area.
So
Okay.
you have
Yes.
said you have put sufficient force. Can you identify the number of the troops?
I'm sorry again, I've been previously, as mentioned before, we cannot state some statistics or numbers with regards to deployment of personnel as a matter of operational and tactical procedures.
Sir, if I may ask, why is SMART not functioning as expected? Is this part of the security efforts of the government?
Melo, I think you have to ask Smart. We have been emphasizing it before that it is not within the policy of this event that telecommunications or communications among us will be interrupted.
Yes. One more point, with your indulgence. Have you identified foreigners involved in today's activities outside the complex?
We will check later, Melo, after the. What we can assure there are already personnel or units or intelligence units that are monitoring the situation in the ground. And just in case there are, then definitely we'll act accordingly against them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Sir, on the Holo situation, the Prime Minister of Malaysia had already confirmed that a Malaysian national was executed by the Abu Sayyaf. So how long do you think can the Philippine National Police confirm your forensic investigation?
As of now, Manny, we cannot really say how the time element, but we can do that as soon as possible. We follow it up with the crime laboratory of ARM, or Autonomous Region of Muslim Mindanao. In the investigation, basically, it's a procedure that we don't give a definite time. Let us give chance to our forensic experts to do their job. Thank you, and good noon. Happy lunch to everyone. Hello.